So in a nutshell, a summary is just a shorter way of explaining a bigger piece of reading that you just read. So it's a smaller piece of writing to, let's see, to capture the main idea of a larger reading. So if you had a novel, for example, I can actually summarize the main plot in one page. But of course, I'm gonna be removing a lot of details that I think wouldn't would still give the reader just enough information to understand the main idea without getting into the little details. And that's what really a summary is. You're not rewriting the original piece of work. You're really just picking out the important information and telling the reader, somebody else, what it was about. So first thing is never rewrite the original reading, because that is just copying the original work and not summarizing it. And you're always using your own words to explain what the reading is about. So imagine yourself talking to a friend and telling them, oh my gosh, you should read this novel. It is so interesting. I love the storyline and the characters. What are you gonna tell your friend? You're gonna tell your friend the basic idea of that novel, why you're so interested in it, and maybe a 1 or 2 sentence about why you like the character so much, but you're not gonna tell them every little thing and every little conversation that happened in that novel, right? You're just gonna, try to convince your friend to read it and then hope that your friend takes that information and goes, okay, I think I'm kind of interested. I'm gonna read the actual novel myself. So that's really a way of summarizing. You're capturing and using your own words to explain to somebody else the main idea of a piece of reading. So why do we care about writing a summary? Because, your friends or anybody else you're talking to, they can easily just read the whole piece of work, right? The whole novel or essay or whatever it is. Why summarize? Well, you're really just trying to let the reader know, hey, if you're interested in a topic, I think this book is really good for you because it tells you X, Y, and Z. If you decide to read it, I think you'll learn a lot. If you decide that, if this is actually not what you're looking for, then don't waste your time reading it. You're really just trying to save somebody else some time by summarizing and letting them decide whether they want to learn more and get more details about something or not. So that's one of the reasons why you want to summarize. And how do we write a summary? So we just talked about what it is and why write a summary. There we go. Okay, how do we write a summary? A summary really answers the basic questions that reporters tend to ask and try to answer as well. So it will be the 5 W's and the H, right? Who, what, where, when, why, and how. As long as you answer all those questions, you pretty much have a pretty good summary. So every summary tries to answer these questions. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So when you're writing, keep those questions in mind and see if what you're writing will answer all of these questions. And it will always contain a thesis. Now, who can remind me what a thesis means? What's a thesis? Anyone remember from the last 2 classes?
Main idea?
Yeah, exactly. A thesis is a fancy word for main idea, and every piece of writing, whether it's an essay or a summary, it always has a main idea because that's how your topic revolves around, right? Your topic is always your main idea. And what are you talking about? What are you arguing for? What are you trying to convince the user to believe in? Right? Because you as the writer, you have an opinion, and in order to express your opinion and get your reader to be convinced of your idea, you need to spend some time explaining your thesis and then providing the information for the reader to believe you, right? You're really trying to have a conversation on paper at the end of the day. So every summary has a main idea. And you usually find the main idea in the first paragraph. And remember 2 weeks ago, we talked about a compare and contrast essay structure. In our first paragraph, we have the main idea, basic summary of your topic. Your first paragraph basically has all that information. So if you're ever trying to write a summary and you have no idea what that piece of work is really talking about, the best clue is read the first paragraph again and try and think, okay, what is this writer talking about? It must be in the first paragraph somewhere, because when you're introducing a topic to the reader, you do it near the beginning of an essay, right? Because no one's going to read if they don't know what they're expecting. So you tell the reader, hey, in the first paragraph, hey, I'm going to be talking about this. And in order for you to understand what I'm going to be talking about in the upcoming paragraphs, I'm going to have to give you some background information. So here it is. That's basically what you're doing when you're writing a first paragraph. And that is exactly the same as how you do it in a summary. So always read the introductory paragraph really slowly and try to highlight that thesis statement. And once you highlight it, everything's going to become a lot easier. And because it's a summary, you need to let your reader know what is the piece of writing you're attempting to summarize. That means you're definitely going to be summarizing whether it's a novel, a story, an essay, a textbook, something, right? So let the reader know, hey, I'm summarizing, Charlotte's Web. It's by E.B. White, and the main idea is about the weak pig who was going to be killed by Mr. Arable, but Fern saved him. I just quickly summarized a novel, right? So I'm letting the reader know, hey, this is the book. This is who it's written by. This is the general plot line of the story. So everything I'm going to write after this first paragraph is going to be talking about Charlotte's Web. You're letting the reader know exactly what you're going to be talking about. So include title of the book, essay, whatever the piece of writing is. Include the name of the author. And 1 or 2 sentences that explains what the piece of writing is about. So all of these points are really talking about the first paragraph alone. And if you follow all of these pointers, you're likely going to be you'll end up with maybe 5 to 6 sentences, or 4 to 5, anywhere between 4 to 6 sentences as your first paragraph of your summary. Any questions so far?
Yes. Are we going to do a summary about Charlotte's Web?
Not Charlotte's Web. It's going to be a summary of the science article that we read last week.
Oh.
But we will get that. And near the end of class, we're still in the beginning, so don't worry about it so far. Any other questions? No, we're going to be really good at writing summaries? Okay. So we're actually going to read an example of a summary. just to give you an idea of what it looks like. A summary doesn't need to be long. It just needs to be maybe 3 paragraphs, 1 page long, if you're doing every other line. So we'll read that at the bottom of page 49. But Ariel and Jesse, please turn on your cameras. I want to see your faces. Thank you. All right, so we're going to read a sample summary at the bottom of page 49, 1.2. Lucian, why don't you read the summary?
In the short story, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, author James Thurber humorously presents a character who fantasizes about himself as a hero enduring incredibly challenging circumstances. In his real life, Walter Mitty lives an ordinary, plain life. He is a husband under the control of an order-bearing, critical wife. Thurber uses lively dialogue to give readers an understanding of Mitty's character. The story takes place over a period about 20 minutes. During this brief time, Mitty drives his wife to the hairdresser and runs errands that his wife has given him while he waits for her. In between his worrying that he is not doing what she wants him to do, he daydreams about himself as a great surgeon, brilliant repair technician, expert marksman, and brilliant military captain. This story shows that fantasy is often a good alternative to reality. I have a question.
Yes.
What page are you on?
We're on page 49 still.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll cover some vocabulary first, because I think we ran into a few. So let's start from the beginning. In the short story, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, author James Thurber humorously presents a character who fantasizes about himself as a hero enduring incredibly challenging circumstances. Okay, a lot of long words in here. So let's just quickly make sure we are covering all these long words and making sure we know what it means. I'm just gonna type a few. Okay, this one was actually near the end. Reality. So I think everyone knows what reality means, but actually we didn't, that was another word I saw near the end of the story. Let's leave that for later. Circumstance. What does circumstance mean? Any guesses? If I say, oh, under these circumstances, I was able to eat all I want. Yes, Doris.
Like under the conditions?
Yeah, very good. So it just means under a certain condition or situation. Good. Humorously. Humorously. And note that the spelling I have on my screen is actually the Canadian way of spelling. The one in the book is the American way. So O-U-R instead of O-R. Both are acceptable. Yes, Doris. Humorously.
Really funny?
Yeah, in a funny way. So if I'm saying I'm humorously describing the story of this man, then you're gonna know that it's gonna be mentioned in a really funny way. Okay, enduring. So in the sentence, a character who fantasizes about himself as a hero enduring incredibly challenging circumstances. Enduring. Any guesses?